There is some crazy stuff going on in the world. When Russian television is telling their viewers to prepare for Armageddon, with food, water, bomb shelters, all bets are off, people. I'm Randall Terry, I think. I checked during the break, and yes, I am Randall Terry. But there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. I'm just unsure about everything. So we go ahead and just roll that clip, even though this is a clip in another language of a Russian broadcaster telling Russians that they need to put up rice and oatmeal and salt and lots of water because war could happen between Russia and the United States of America. One of the team members and I last night we were just discussing why something like that doesn't happen on the state-owned Russian television network without the highest level of leaders in Russia signing off on it. Maybe Putin himself, but think about it. Something like that could cause a run on stores. Who's the message to? That was part of the big discussion I had last night. Who is this for? Is it for the West? Saying, look, if you bomb Assad, we're going to escalate the conflict? Because their war is imminent, or at least some type of a punishment against Assad, the leader of Syria. Some type of punishment against him and his regime is imminent because they gassed civilians recently, killed a lot of women and children. So England and France and America have both indicated that they're going to punish Assad. Russia is one of the backers of Assad, Russia and Iran. So Russia is saying, look, if you try and shoot missiles at Syria, we're going to shoot your missiles out of the sky. And that resulted in the president taunting Putin, saying, basically, I don't think so. We've got really stealth-type missiles that you won't be able to shoot out of the sky. So there's an escalation of words going on, and there is going to be some type of military strike against Syria. It's just going to happen. It probably is going to happen over the weekend. But why tell Russian citizens to prepare for a nuclear bomb? That's what the guy was talking about. Get iodine to thwart the impact of nuclear fallout in your body. So something like that can be, the desired audience is clearly not just the Russian people. If the Russians all made a run on a grocery store to put away 5 years of rice, they're talking about the rice can be expected to last for 5 years, 8 years rather, oatmeal 6 to 7 years. Their favorite grain only lasts for about 1 year. And don't put in a lot of sweets because your body uses more water when you have sweets, and water is going to be a precious commodity. Do they really think that there's going to be a nuclear war with America or with the West? Are they trying to say to the West, to Western leaders, look, we will ratchet this up. You don't want to tangle with Syria because if you do, you're going to tangle with us? Are they doing it to control their own citizenry? Because if you move towards, let's say that they had just a run on grocery stores or on banks, well, then they could declare martial law. Putin has never been a supporter of truly free press. All right, he's old school KGB. So, are they trying to provoke an internal crisis so that they can go back to more repressive and oppressive control of their own citizenry? I don't know. Is it all the above? You better believe that there are people thinking long and hard about the fruit that they would expect for their agenda by making an announcement on state-run television that people should have these food items and the ability to deal with nuclear fallout. They have a list of objectives that they have when they make a statement like that on TV. And the objectives are not simply for their own people to go and buy rice. I'll be right back. A lot to talk about in the news. Mark Zuckerberg from how do you say his name? Zuckerberg. Thank you. Mark Zuckerberg, who I loathe, spent a couple days in front of the Senate. Man, I'm telling you, people, he's a villain. I'll tell you more when I come back. Don't go away.
Today, many so-called Christian intellectuals believe that the God of evolution used billions of years of death and destruction to evolve the bodies of the first human beings. Then, they simply declare the theory of evolution as fact to justify their unproven scientific fallacies. By the grace of God, more and more Catholics are rejecting this modern-day mythology in favor of the traditional doctrine of creation, as recorded by the Bible and believed and taught by all the fathers and doctors of the Church. To find out how sound theology and natural science confirm the sacred history of Genesis, visit the Colby Center for the Study of Creation, and be sure to check out our bookstore, which has titles like I Have Spoken to You from Heaven, A Catholic Defense of Creation in 6 Days, and A Catholic Assessment of Evolutionary Theory. That's the Colby Center for the Study of Creation.
If you follow politics, you have probably seen the face of these two ladies who go by Diamond and Silk. And Facebook actually blocked their account, blocked their videos, saying that they were dangerous for the community. I'm not making this up, okay? Now, I have a personal contempt for Zuckerberg on a number of levels. You know, you sit there and you're tempted to feel sad for the guy. He's a multi-billionaire now. He's what, 30 years old, under 30? I don't even know how old he is. He's a kid, all right? He's not smart on a number of levels. He's clearly smart when it comes to the technology that he created with Facebook, and he's smart with some of the more evil deeds that he's doing, such as trying to suppress truth, all right? Now, his company blocked these two women because they're black women who support Donald Trump. They're considered conservatives and they're a danger. That's literally what Facebook said. Literally. Not the part about them being black women who support Trump, but as different members of the Senate started grilling him and then giving the lists of the groups who have been blocked by Zuckerberg, it's clear that they have a left-wing, godless, pro-baby killing, pro-Islam, pro-homosexual agenda at their company. That's what they have. That's who they are. And now the problem we have is that they can choke out the voices like mine. They canceled my account. They literally shut down my account because we were promoting what would Muhammad do. Now, I'm a scholar, right? I have a master's degree in international terrorism from a military university. So everything I said was the truth, and I didn't say it with a mean spirit. They shut it down. This is so evil. It is such an outrage. And some of the senators were really hard on him. And I think one of the House members, too, said, look, your ship is sinking. You better go home because Congress is about to act. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they act. It'll be interesting to see if they end up breaking them up, if there's a court action, if they go after them based upon the theory of, look, this is a business and you cannot keep people out of your business because of their political or religious views. We'll see. I mean, that's how the left is crushing small businesses who won't partake in the homosexual marriage fiasco. Literally running people out of business because they say, I'm not going to make you cake. I'm not going to do it. I don't believe in what you're doing. I'm not going to make a cake to celebrate your trip into an abomination, into a self-destructive, heinous behavior. that might not just cost you your body in this life, but might cost you your soul in eternity. I won't do it. So they're crushing that type of religious freedom and that type of dissent. So maybe somebody on the right is going to say, look, let's just take that weapon and use it against them. I don't know. I have a hard time with the idea of compelling someone to speak. I really do. I don't know. But the problem is that the flow of information and the promotion of truth is so vital to the survival of a republic, of any nation, that when you have a conglomerate like Facebook and like Google and like YouTube that control so much flow of data, the amount of information, the amount of people that they reach right now dwarfs everything else. All right, this has happened in the last 15 years. It's almost inconceivable what has happened. When you have that much power of communication in the hands of so few, then something probably is going to have to happen. It used to be in America, I'm sorry that President Reagan was involved in changing it, but it used to be that you could only own a handful of TV stations and newspapers because the fear of the government, the fear of the FCC was that you could get too much communication power in the hands of one company and that their political bias would be used in that medium of communication. And it's true, it does. So they changed those rules, but I don't think anyone could have foreseen, not even Zuckerberg himself, I don't think anyone could have foreseen the amount of power regarding communication that is in the hands of a handful of human beings in America. And almost to the man, almost to the woman, their agenda is anti-Christ. Okay? I've got to take a break. I will be right back. I heard something really interesting, troubling this morning on Glenn Beck. I rarely listen to Glenn Beck, but I was flipping through the dial and he was talking about something that interested me regarding the breakup of the union. Don't go away. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. When we were off the air, Billy Bob pointed out that Zuckerberg's problem is, the question is he a publisher or is he a platform? Platform being like a phone line, people can talk on it. Or is he a publisher? And from what he was just saying, what it appears, to me at least, is that Zuckerberg is trying to behave like a publisher, but doesn't want the legal ramifications of being a publisher. So if it's a platform, anyone can talk on a phone line, and the phone company is not liable for what's being spoken over the phone line. It's just a platform. But if he's a publisher, well, there's people every day that are putting up copywritten material in violation of copyright laws. So Zuckerberg, as a publisher, would then become liable. Or if there is some type of a criminal, true criminal intent, there's been some pretty hideous things on Facebook, crimes, then he would have some type of legal liability there as well. So what he wants, in my opinion, at least from the first blush of this discussion, he wants the authority of a publisher, but does not want the legal liabilities of a publisher. All right, so going to Glenn Beck. He made an illustration this morning. If you're a regular viewer of this program, you know that I have said for years, quoted for years, maybe about 5-6 years ago, a major university did a poll in which just about 1/3 of the Americans believe that a shooting revolution is coming and it will be required to restore our constitutional liberties. That's a frightening number of people. That means almost 1 out of every 3 people that you see believe that. That's a lot. And it might be more now. So what he said was, let's just divide the country. Let's divide the country. Just figure out what states are going to go left wing and which states are going to want to still fear God and acknowledge God in the public places, in our courtrooms, in our schools. Now, that's my words, not his. He wasn't focusing on God as much as he was just the whole left-wing agenda. But he did bring up God and how openly hostile the left is becoming in the Democratic Party to the notion of Almighty God and his laws and his rules. Openly hostile. So he said it's like 2 parents screaming husband and wife screaming at each other every single night. I hate you, and yelling, and the kids are cowering in the other room. Let's just get a divorce, is what he said. So the divisions in this country are so deep right now, far deeper than they were regarding slavery, that it may be the only thing that's possible is for the breakup of the Union. Now, regarding slavery, slavery was an abomination in the presence of God. It was an inherent evil. And our Constitution, our original Constitution, embodied an inherent crime against God and men. One of the sins that cries to God for vengeance, okay? So we were doomed from the start with the bloodshed that ended up with the Civil War. Unless if they had solved it peacefully, quickly, early on, I don't think that the hell to be paid would have been paid. But they didn't. But even the slave-owning South, as perverted as it was Christian. And they believed that slavery was a right granted in the scriptures from God to them. It was a perversion, it was a lie, that wasn't true. But nevertheless, churches were throughout the South, and most people would have felt, if you'd have gone to someone in 1850 and said, hey, what do you think about abortion? Just, we're going to kill babies in the womb. They would have been appalled. What do you think about homosexual marriage? They would have probably beaten the tar out of someone for even suggesting homosexual marriage. They would have known their 10 commandments. They would have known how many books there were in the Bible. They were a biblically literate society, North and South. We're not there anymore. We've got hostility towards righteousness and holiness on a level that we've just never seen in this country. And the question is, can we survive it? Abraham Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. It just can't. Lord have mercy. I believe it was our Lord Jesus who said that originally. I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Friend, we have a series that will help you and those you love to have an impact on this country. It's called Insurrecta Nex. That's Latin for revolution against the killing of innocent people. This is the history, the philosophy, and the theology of social revolution in America. We look at the Stamp Act, the Boston Tea Party, the abolition of slavery, the abolition of child labor, women's voting rights, the civil rights movement. All of them have this in common: courage, sacrifice, dedication, and in-your-face tactics and rhetoric. That's one of the reasons that we've been losing the culture wars the last 40 years, is because the bad guys are using these tactics and we aren't. We will send you this 14-part TV series along with these manuals for students, a teacher's facilitator guide for only $40. Go to 304-289-3700, 304-289-3700. There is a growing cry from inside of the Republican ranks to get rid of Paul Ryan as Speaker of the House. And good riddance. Good riddance. He has not been a help to the president. He has not been a champion of righteousness. Now, this is, of course, a man who claims to be a Christian, and I can't doubt his Christianity. What I can doubt is his commitment to justice and righteousness. When you keep letting spending bills get to the floor of the House that have millions of dollars for the largest criminal syndicate of baby killers in the history of the world, Planned Parenthood. This is a criminal syndicate, people. All right? Baby killing, selling body parts, hiding the crimes, sexual crimes against minors.
And part of it, though, is some of the girls, they're around like 14, 15, and some of the girls are from like out of state, out of country. They don't know about the facilities.
Facilitating those in the sex trade. This is a criminal syndicate. And they get money, your money, my money, from the federal government. It's evil. It's just unthinkably evil. And Paul Ryan hasn't done anything to stop it. Nothing. The sins of omission, friends, the sins of omissions. Of omission. So there is a growing resentment, hatred towards the Mueller investigation, the special investigator, special prosecutor. He's found nothing, okay? And yet now it's like he's on this fishing expedition to find something, anything, to justify his existence and to try and bring down this president. And the people like Paul Ryan have not been the type of defenders of the president that they need to be. Anybody with 2 cents worth of insight can see that this is a political witch hunt. They want Trump out of office. And I was not afraid at the beginning that they would be successful. I'm beginning to fear that they might be. I want to be wrong, and I think I'm wrong. I think that he will survive. But he is under fire like we've never seen. In many ways, this is worse than Nixon or Clinton for lying, because Nixon really did, after the fact, try and cover up the burglary at Watergate, which was stupid on his part, just stupid. But beyond that, we have, in our lifetime, we have never seen the type of hostility that we are now seeing towards President Trump. The long knives are out. They want this man out of office. And they mock. There's people who regularly joke about assassinating a sitting president. Can you imagine the hell to be paid if people had publicly joked about assassinating Obama when he was president? It's inconceivable. Now, why? Because he's black. That's why. He's black and he's liberal. You can't say those things about a black liberal. You can say them about a white conservative. There are taboos, and then there are things that you're allowed to do. And going after somebody based upon their conservatism, that's completely allowed. But when you combine the politically correct black privilege that is for sure in the culture today, okay? It's for sure here. All right, it's reverse racism that's going on. It just is. Everyone knows it. There's only a handful of people with the courage to talk about it. But when you combine those elements, it would have been inconceivable to talk about assassinating Obama. But people make jokes about assassinating Donald Trump. That's the danger that he's in. That's the political hatred that is going on towards him. Have a great weekend. Keep your eyes posted on the news. See what happens in Syria. And pray for me if you would. Bye for now.
Mm-hmm.